Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. AJ, the CEO here. Thank you so much for stopping by. And I'm kind of a little bit off because I was doing a video that y'all haven't seen yet where I completely gutted everything and documented going through everything all over again. I'm still working on that video, so that is coming soon. I hope y'all are all doing well. Hopefully everything is sounding right because, like I said, I disconnected everything and re-hooked up everything here. Awesome. It looks like everything is fine. Give me 1 second. All right, I can hear myself, so everything sounds good. I hope. Oh, I didn't turn my lights on. I don't have my background RGB on. Give me 1 second to turn that on. I can't do a live stream without the lights being on behind me. Anyway, I hope y'all are all doing well. I am missing my daughter this morning. She has field day, and they don't let parents come there anymore for whatever reason. So wanted to be with my bag lunch and all this other stuff. Yeah, I remember that. See, I'm old enough to say that. I remember the smell of field day. Does anybody remember that? I love that. It was like a bologna and cheese sandwich wrapped in foil with a Capri Sun, a piece of fruit, some chips, and a paper bag. And then you used to sit out in the field and just have activities all day long. Man, I love that. Monty, what is going on, man? I hope you're doing well. Let's go ahead and holler at some folks here this morning. Zach's Films, hello, hello. Darius down in Mississippi, hello, hello. Techie Terra, hello, hello. Broke Citizen, bonjour, qu'est-ce que vous allez, comme ci, comme ça. Parker, how are you doing? How you doing? Mr. Michael Baldwin, hello, hello. Mr. Clarence, how you doing, sir? Let's see. Lady Unique, good morning. G. Albert, hello, hello. Creator for Fun, hello, hello. John Cook, hello. Streets of Destiny, Brother Art, how you doing? Bruce, how are you doing? Patrick, hello, hello. D. Green, come on now. Hey, how you doing? Stanley from Stony Point, North Carolina. I was just there, maybe about driving through that way about 3 weeks ago. Like I said, Monty, hope you're doing well, sir. And Mom's Video, hello, hello. All right, folks. So again, oh, wait a minute. We just got one popped right in here. Fresh Start Church of Philadelphia. Hello, hello. Got a lot of stuff. A bunch of y'all who are on here, who are teachers for our e-missionary conference. I sent out an email. Please go in and schedule what day and what's your topic of what you're going to teach. And I need your photo if you have not provided one already. And I'm jumping ahead. If you have been to the website recently, we have started adding some more stuff. So I am doing this a little bit backwards, folks. So excuse me for that. So we have updated the website. We got some more stuff. I'm trying to formalize the schedule and everything. So we just had our first teachers meeting. The recording, y'all should have access to that to watch over that. We're 90 days away. And like I said, we've been updating people. So like I said, we got Monty on here, Dominic, Francisco. We've been adding some people, Rosalind, Elder West, Mike, Phyllis, Creator for Fun. We got Hugh from PhoneLiveStream. We got Pastor Thompson, a new addition, who's going to be teaching AI and Bible study, how to integrate those two. Janelle Youngblood is going to be prioritizing media in your budget. Johnny Ray from out in California teaching beyond church services. Fred Towler, he's local here, teaching about ministry photography. We got Andrea Bacon is teaching. She's demonstrating some software that she developed. Speak and sync Bible scriptures, where you just talk and it actually puts up a lower third of your scripture, which is kind of ground changing for those who are saying, hey, I don't have nobody to put my scripture up. Gonna be talking about that. We got David Bell, reimagining evangelism. He is from Virginia Union School of Seminary and stuff here in Richmond. And we still got plenty of space for more people, but what we want to do is put that schedule together so that everybody can see what we're teaching. I'm filling this out with the actual classes and all this other stuff like that. So teachers, please check that email. If you haven't, please email me, let me know, so that way I can follow up and get all that information to you. And there we go. So we're on the right one. But just let you know, folks, that we still got stuff on emissionarygear.com. All the funds that go towards that help pay for the stuff that we do, our giveaways, our conferences, the gear for us to review that we ultimately give away. All that stuff is there. If you want to do and help contribute, that is one of the easiest ways. Or you can become a Patreon supporter or a YouTube member. Whichever one you pick, you're helping us train media ministries all over the world. Also, folks, don't forget, you know that especially with Easter coming up, I know a bunch of y'all have been doing a whole lot of work, and sometimes it's thankless. Just be honest, it's thankless. So let me use this platform to shout out your team. Go ahead and send me a picture of your media ministry team. Send it to questions@ajhomes.com. Label the subject "My Media Team." Um, Send me a picture. Tell me the ministry name, your location. If you want to put people's names there, you don't have to put their last name, just the first name, so I can use this platform to shout them out and give a big thank you for everything that they do. Again, want to thank y'all who continue to buy my book there on Amazon. We still got a couple of them there, and for whatever reason, one got missed on my website. The filtering or whatever. So my apologies for that person. I actually sent it out. I can't remember if I already sent it out and just didn't check it off that I sent it. But either way, you got, if you already got one, you got another one coming your way. Sent that out like 4 days ago when I was doing some cleanup. So my apologies for that. And like I said, really, really excited about the 4ME 2025 conference. We've had to scale back a little bit on our rooms. Originally, we had 6 rooms that we were going to do. We had we may still go to bigger rooms, more rooms if need be. But right now, we have the sanctuary, the chapel, and 2 classrooms. And if we need more, we can. There were 2 reasons why we had to cut it back. One, I'm not going to talk about. The next one is just because the licensing that I had with Vimeo is only allowing me to have 5 streams at the same time. So at max, we can add one more person, one more classroom, and we have enough capacity to stream all at the same time so that we can put that on the website. So that's the reason why. But again, register today. We do it in person and online. We got a total so far right now. We have 75 people that are registered to come. We have the capacity for 200, and we got unlimited capacity on people online. I'm excited about that. Can't fully announce all of this yet because it's in the works, but we have a total of 2 sponsors confirmed with a 3rd on the way. So Phone Live, that's where he was teaching. He owns that company. He's sponsored us. We have had verbal agreements by AVCans. AVCans is also going to be a sponsor for this conference, and I have about 7 other people that I am in talks with to get formal stuff from that. So we're excited about that. Some of them will be providing some equipment so we can add into the room so we can demonstrate their stuff, and their stuff is running the conference. Some are doing monetary contributions, a bunch of stuff. So just really thankful for all of that stuff. Now, what screen do I have on here? Like I said, we still need some more teachers. You are more than willing to get a part of that. Because we're not just covering technical. We're talking about ministry. We're talking about leadership. We're talking about vision. We got a bunch of stuff that we're really looking for, things like that, and just really excited. And the last thing I have is I do have some travel coming up. I will be in New Orleans from May 4th through the 10th. I will be there that entire time. So love to catch up with you if you are in the area. Hanging out with some friends out there. So during the day, they're in conferences, but I'm free all day until the afternoon. And then I'll catch up with my friends out there after they finish their conference that they're doing. But just letting y'all know that's where we are at. Let's see. Let's holler at a few more people. LB, hello, hello. Anthony, what's going on? Dion, hello, hello. And I think that's it. So, for folks, before we get started, if you got a question, that's what I didn't do. See, I'm jumping all over the place. If you're not a part of the Facebook group, folks, because we rescheduled the roundtable from last week, we are going to have one. Well, no, it's Easter. I'll leave it to y'all. Do y'all want to have a roundtable this Sunday since it's Easter, or do you want to push it back another week? I am fine with either way. But if you like what we're doing here, folks, and you're not a part of the Facebook group, what are you doing? Go to Facebook, look up Modern Media Ministry Made Easy, answer the 3 questions, and you are in like Flynn. You are going to be associating with 3,400 media ministries from all over the world, to where we're just gathered together. We're not talking about titles, denominations. We're just here to help each other, because I don't have every piece of equipment, but somebody on there does, and we're just there to help raise the tide that raises all ships and just help everybody move on. That's what it's all about. And all the information for the roundtable is there and all that other fun stuff. Before we get started, folks, if you ever if I don't get to your question, no, you can email me at questions@ajhomes.com. Give me 48 to 72 hours to respond. If me and you go back and forth in emails 3 times, I highly recommend you just go ahead and book a consultation. That way you have a dedicated hour with me and we can sit down in person, virtually, online, through a phone call, or on site, and we just get your stuff squared away and all that other cool stuff. Last thing I would say, well, second to the last thing I would say, my goal of doing 50 installs has been stalled for quite a while. If I look at my calendar, I had slated that we would be on install number 14 right now. We just finished 11. I have about 5 churches that are in the pipe, but we haven't got the fundage yet to take care of it and start ordering. So the last 2 weeks, we haven't really been doing anything major. We just been doing little small stuff, but just keeping y'all updated on my schedule. All right, so I think that's enough blabbing. We are when you ask your question, please put it with a Q. That makes it easy for it to jump out for me. And Anthony, I'm gonna show I'm gonna show this last one for you. Maybe y'all would be interested in this. I'm still playing around with this. Excuse me. So as of right now, my own cast server is upstairs. That is what I am streaming to right now. I have made this external. I'm not showing it to everybody yet. I'm still trying to play around with this, but I am playing around with this and it's working great. We're streaming from vMix out to this and all this other stuff. So really excited. So when I put up like the little graphic I put here, it should show here in a little bit. Oh, I'm not even close to live. So there you go. So now we're showing myself and showing myself. So really cool that we're playing around with all the cool little toys and all this other stuff like that. But I think that's about it. So folks, like I said, if you got a question, start it off with a Q. And if you haven't done it, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell notification. That way you get notified when we come out with other videos. And I think that's about it. So let's fire away with y'all's questions. I already answered the one about Broke Citizen wanted to know. His daughter wanted to know if my daughter knows the banana Fortnite dance. Like I said, she doesn't play Fortnite when she's over here. Her favorite game right now is Unpacking on the PlayStation 5, and we play Astrobot together. Tried to get and we play Horizon Lego Adventures. We play that. But other than that, most of the time when she's here, she's like just on YouTube, locked in her room, or she's sitting right up under me on her Chromebook on YouTube, right beside me. Or she's doing, honestly, she does a lot of business presentations. That's what she loves doing in Canva. She's on her 5th business right now. So that's fun. Looking for some questions here for y'all. All right, that's a comment. That's comment. Comment. All right, creative for fun. Here. Getting ready to help a ministry out. What switcher do you suggest that I tell them to get? ATEM OC. Well, it all depends what they're trying to do. If they don't foresee going to more than 4 inputs at any point in time and they want to multi-stream and all this other stuff, I would say the OC Go is good. If they want to go with more future stuff, I still think with the ATEM Mini Extreme is still my go-to right now. And I don't know if y'all have noticed, all of the ATEM stuff has gone up by $100 due to tariffs. So the ATEM Mini Extreme used to be $995. Now it's going for $1,095. That is official. But that's what I would go with right now. But again, give me some more details on their setup, and that might change. But I think that would be my suggestion. Let's see. That's page 2, page 1. Broke Citizen. Yeah, I saw I didn't do a breakdown of the Blackmagic NAB broadcast. I posted a bunch of pictures. I might do it after the fact because I think this week, honestly, I intentionally took off and I forced myself to stay in bed until like noon just to force myself to get caught up and rested and all this other stuff like that. But I should have did a video on it, and I know I'm late, but I do want to go over a lot of the features because the last couple of videos, um, all have been with DaVinci Resolve 20. I've been using a lot of their AI features, just a small bit, but it's a lot of game-changing stuff that they got, and I will probably do a review of that. But the constellation I saw, Blackmagic is in beta having a completely online video switcher so that your camera stream to it and it can be controlled remotely. Really, really exciting stuff. And I know some people are like, what about the bandwidth? And, that's stuff that needs to be played with. But as internet gets faster, this becomes a viable option. Because again, it used to be, you couldn't, now I'm going old school. I remember when they first started offering digital downloads for games. So I used to buy my games. Prince of Persia, I bought that from Direct to Drive. That that site doesn't even exist anymore. But that was before there were Steam. There was before any of that stuff. Um, and it was that was the place where I used to get all my games like Fear 2, all that stuff, and it doesn't exist anymore. Going to the website right now just to see. Well, actually, hold on. It actually is there. This is I'm saying all that to say originally people didn't think that it was fast enough to actually do this. And this is where I used to get all my games. I wonder if my account is still there. Um, but I used to get all my games from there. And then as internet started getting faster, then Steam, then Epic Game Store, all of those other ones out. And now, like, I don't even buy games on disc. It just download it. And just shows that technology is getting better. So for the ones who are saying, I don't think online video switcher will work, I mean, don't doubt technology. Technology is advancing so fast that there are so many new features that are available. So you just never know what is possible. And I'm doing like two things at the same time. I'm trying to update my UDM Pro at the same time while we're running through this. But yeah, so I'm really excited about that. But let me know if y'all want me to do a deep dive on my thoughts on that stuff. Because I mean, there are a bunch of stuff like that 12K Pixis, so many toys. And John, how in depth do you go for documentation for your AV team? How do you document written manual, written quick start guides, training videos, other forms? Do people read them if you make them? Honestly, I've done all of them, and unfortunately, most of the time, no one has done any of them, read through none of them. Personally, I am against written manuals because the stuff changes so fast. So when I was at Antioch, what I used to do is I did short videos, put them on the church's Vimeo page, but then made a FAQ website that you can search. And I put written documents, shorthand stuff, and videos on a FAQ that they can just search. But they really didn't do that. And then I started uploading my videos to YouTube. They didn't watch that. Y'all did. So that's why we're here right now. So yes, I've done all of them, but for me, the only thing that I have written down would maybe be simple steps 1 through 9. I never go higher than 9 steps. And they're just simple, repeated things that will not change, as in, how do I turn on the system? How do I turn off the system? How do I move to this camera position? How do I move to that position camera? What's the order of me logging into this? What's the order of me logging into that? Those are shorthand guides that I put and laminate and put on the wall or the desk or something like that. Anything else descriptive, I normally take my camera, my phone, or whatever, record me doing everything, writing that down, and then I put that together and I leave it there. I've had other people try and take notes, and it has failed awesomely because they're writing down, but they don't know the context of what's happened. So I've tried all of them. The people I've worked with, it has not worked. For me, the best thing that has happened is I do a very detailed video and I just tell them, just like the videos I do here, if you got two monitors, pull up YouTube on one monitor, on the other monitor, do the exact same thing, pause it, and I'm walking you through exactly what I'm doing. That's what has worked for me. This fan is getting my nose here, so my apologies. Mom's video. Will you be doing a review of people's live stream like you have done in the past? Would love your feedback. Yes, I've always been trying to get to that, but then just stuff just gets distracting that I haven't had a chance to get to. So yes, I've been meaning to do a video and I still got it downloaded and I got my rough script of me writing it down. And I was just going to do a breakdown of 5 minutes of this one service I saw with Stephen Furtick. And the breakdown was not necessarily the live stream. It was the mindset of leadership on how in 5 minutes, how he connected the online with the in-person. That's what I wanted to do a breakdown of. But yes, I do want to get back to doing live streams, but then sometimes I get hit with copyright strikes and all this other stuff. So I would need to do that. And when I review, I have to actually get in touch with the owner of the channel and make sure that when they get the flags and stuff like that, they don't hit me with it, because I'll do that and then I get hit. I take the video down. But yes, I do want to go back to doing that. Dean, thoughts on the new ATEM Extreme G2? Personally, I wanted to get the 2ME Constellation. I am thinking about getting the G2 just for the sake of it. Now, I don't know if Brian is on here yet, but I am in agreement for $2,000 because it's going for over $2,000 right now. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull it up. G2. I do like the features that are available for it, but currently it is going for $21.95. I do like the fact that it has a 10 gigabit connection, but I'm like, with a 10 gigabit Ethernet connection, they could have easily put some horsepower in here so you can stream at 4K. Again, I'm streaming at 4K right now. I still don't believe anybody needs to go to that right now. I'm a one-person shop, so that's fine for me. And I'm future-proofing my stuff. But I don't know. I do like that they've changed some of their connections so you can have XLR instead of just 3.5 going into that. The headphone jack, the MIDI in, the MADI in, and it has the full output suite, so you can bring in 32 channels and mix separately, so you can have your own mixer built into this. I do like that. I do like the 3 addressable outputs, so now you can have your multi-view. You could have a full screen. You could have another one that's locked to your presentation, and it's like a switch inside of it. The CF Express cards, I'm not a fan of those, but if you got them, that's fine. And for the dedicated 9th input, which is a Thunderbolt connection, that I wish it wouldn't just be Mac specific. But you can connect the Mac here, and then that can bring in and out at the same time. So in theory, you have 3 USB 4 outputs, or 2 USBs and a Thunderbolt. So I do like that. I do like the fact, kind of like the micro panel that I have, you actually have a physical T-bar. They've changed the buttons a little bit more robust and things like that. I do like that. The price, I'm not a fan of that, to be quite honest. Again, you see it's in my cart, but B&H Photo, they don't open up until the 21st. So I am thinking about pre-ordering it. But like I said not like I said, I did say it in the video. Y'all haven't seen it yet. When I talk about my setup here, I'm out of connections right now. And I wanted to go with a Constellation, but the Constellation line with Blackmagic, everything is SDI. So that price is so much higher, and I would have to get converters for every single thing. So that's just me. But I know I'm blabbing too much, but I like the G2. If honestly, and it's an ISO, so I will give it that. If this thing would have came in at 1700, that would have been an easier, digestible price for me. And with the tariff that jumped the price up by around $200, that's a bit much for me. Originally, when they announced it, it was $19.95. Then the tariffs went in place, and now it's $21.95. So, not a fan of that. I may still get it. I'm hesitant on recommending that to any clients coming forth. MA16, no, you haven't missed a rant yet. I haven't gone on a rant yet. I do have one in mind, but haven't done one yet. So I just addressed that one. So I'm sorry, I missed your comment, but you asked the same question as somebody else did. Fresh Start Church. So my apologies for that. So that is, no, that was right after that comment. So I got you. Thank y'all for the, well, I wouldn't even say thank you for me. I'm just thankful for the companies that said that they want to partner with the, that. Like, again, I don't want to name who else I'm talking to, but I have had some emails back and forth with some people I've done work with a long time ago and recently. So I'm looking forward to that. Supreme Detailing Services. Hello, hello. Michael, good morning to you. All right, I couldn't understand it first. Let me jump to this one. How does it work with teaching? Do we purchase a ticket, then we're able to teach? Thanks for answering. Well, no, when you teach, you actually have a discounted price and coming in, and what you would do. Why is one of my controller froze on me? And my whole ATEM froze on me. Hold on, my ATEM software crashed on me. Come on now. Hold on, folks. Sorry. Need to kill the software. Open this back up. My micro panel stopped working. I was pressing the button and everything was just frozen. There we go. All right, we're back here. And it did it again. Hold on, my ATEM software is hanging. What in the world? All right, we're gonna have to just do this old school and reach all the way over. That's very strange that it's doing that. But anyway, you come in here and you register as a teacher. You have a discounted price. You pick either you're going to be in person or online. If you do the online, you've registered. So I can't do it because I'm already registered. But you would come in here and let me actually open up incognito window. And when that comes in, you put in your information, make an account. What's your subject? Where's your ministry? Where are you located at? What are you going to teach on? Do you need assistance for live streaming? Do you have your own equipment? How familiar are you with it? You register, and then it takes you to purchase your discounted ticket. You do that, and then you'd have access to the back end that it shows everything. And I can't show everything because it's going to show too much. So as a teacher, you'd get a new page here that shows all the information that you need to stream, your assets, all this other stuff like that. And you'd be brought into, added to the email list of when we do a teachers meeting. We're going to do demos of how to stream and do practice mock-ups and everything like that. If you want to be online, we'd assign somebody to you to help you with your streaming and stuff like that. Because if you're at Antioch, we only did 2 rooms that have TVs. Those are going to be the TVs, the rooms that are going to be for people who are teaching online. So we'd have a computer in the room. You'd be on the TV. You would have classes in there. We're working at doing cameras so you can see who's in person there. But somebody's going to be in the room with a Chromebook. They're going to be typing in questions directly to the person who's online. You're looking in the chat. You'd be able to go back and forth. So if I went to one of the classrooms and kind of showing you how that works. So if when I come in here, this is all that's going to be available when you're logged in. You'd have this video, and then you would have the chat, and you're talking back and forth. You could go into a full screen version of the chat if you want to see it like that, but we have it in here. And then what we've learned from our other sessions under here, we'll have a list of all the sessions for that classroom so that you will be in one location, and then you can go back and forth and say you want to stay in this class and, oh, what else is coming up in this room that I'm at? Or you can always jump to another room. So that's kind of like how the back end of everything is going to work there. I hope that answers your question. Anthony, when using the Unify extender, can you tell me everything I need to extend the Wi-Fi? The Unify extender, is that the new one that you're talking about? Because they do have an extender, but I want to make sure we're talking about the same one, Anthony. So some of the products that Unify has, where is it at? Now, are you talking about this type of extender? Is this the one that you're talking about? Let me know so I know I'm talking about the exact same thing. So then, yeah, I did see that, and the streaming bridge is interesting. I am thinking about possibly getting one to play around with. G. Albert, interested in reviewing the new OBS bot Tail 2. They actually sent me, reached out to me and said if I wanted to review it, and I told them, but I never heard back. I said I would, but I never heard anything back from them on it. But I know Dave at Church Content Creators, they actually did review that. So I would recommend you checking them out. But they haven't sent one to me. John continued, it's not only the information found there on the Facebook group, but it is camaraderie, attitude of the group members. All are welcome and encouraging and helpful. Hey, well, thank you. I'm glad everybody is liking we run that thing with an iron fist, meaning we don't deal with foolishness. We already got to deal with enough foolishness out in the world. We don't need another group that's doing the same thing. So I appreciate that. We try and make it wholesome. And if you come in there spamming and doing stuff, you are quickly kicked out. I want to send you something on Instagram via direct messages. Let me know what you think. I did it with AI. Cool. I will look at that once you sent it to me. Might not be on the stream, but I will look at it. Sam. Good morning, AJ. I'm new with the live streaming. Is OBS a good way to go? Yes, I would say it is, as long as, plus it's the freest option to go. As long as the computer is fast enough to handle it, yes. I still use OBS at a lot of places. I'm only using vMix right now because it is easy to do this in vMix than have a whole bunch of stuff in OBS, but it is possible. Kira, yes, indeed, our media director does the same thing. Cool. All right, I already responded to that message. Let's see what else we got here. Juan. Hey, AJ, thank you and God bless you for your work. I am planning on using the Tail 2 for our stream via NDI. I need to capture audio, but need a recommendation for a microphone. Well, it all depends. What is the microphone going to be capturing? Is it going to be capturing the entire sanctuary, or is it just going to be capturing an individual? Let me know, and we will go from there. Stanley, can I use the Ubiquity Cloud Gateway behind a Astra NG firewall? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Rob, good morning to you. Retwan, I was thinking of buying the DTV Mic D4 mini video microphone for this setup. Again, that could work, but I just want to know what's the main thing that you're going to be capturing with that. Kal-El, good morning. I'm having problems with using the HDMI output for the program in a USB for the multi-view. I watched your video, but I've been unsuccessful. All right, first, can you confirm that you're on the latest software version? If you've done that, then go, after you've installed it, go to the ATEM setup and then make sure that it has done an update to the ATEM, because an actual update to the hardware is needed for you to see the changes in that. So if I come over here and we need to come, actually, I need to see if there's an update for that. But anyway, you come in here, once you do this and you hit the save, it should do a firmware update on this. If that's done, you'll know it's working, because the ATEM stuff will show differently. So for your outputs, you'll actually see a webcam out option now, and then you should be able to pick it. If you don't see this, it means that it has not updated the firmware on the ATEM itself to give you that. That's the first thing I would say to check out. And while I'm doing that, I'm gonna see if they have an update on this panel. No, they don't. All right, and no update. Oh, I gotta be connected over USB. Or that one. I can't reach this. I'll do that. But I hope that helps. Let me know from that. But that is what you will need. MA16v3. 10 gigabit wouldn't be necessary for 4K streaming. You're still well within 1 gigabit for 4K. 10 gigabit would be for writing ISO to a NAS, though. If only they'd implement that. Now, that would be cool, because I do have a 10 gigabit backbone that's going to my Synology that's on 10 gigabit. So if I did that and I could write ISO to that, that would be cool. Yeah, I know some of them know. I've never seen a Thunderbolt one on AMD motherboard. And I think that was, I mean, I don't know how long this is, because I don't stay up to date with this. I know for a while that stuff was licensed through Intel, and Intel made that, and I don't know. But hopefully they could do that, and then that would be cool. Back to John. Thanks for answering my question. That's what I fear. I've been spending a lot of time documenting and writing, and I'm not sure anyone will read it. I may continue. I would say do it, because sooner or later you may find somebody that does it. But I would say, don't half-tell what you're doing, even if people don't get the results. I know it's easier said than done. I mean, because like for me, I'm trying not to go down the MA16v3, my mini rant, but I think that's one of the things that I've been trying to do. It is so easy. Like, I was in a meeting the other day, and somebody that has no clue about media was like saying, how come the live stream sound doesn't sound this good? And I'm like, because we don't have enough people. I don't think you need enough people. Well, if you don't think you need that, you obviously don't know what you're talking about. Because it's very easy for somebody from the outside to say what this needs to be done or how it needs to be done. And then in that same vein, it's like, yeah, it's real easy for you to say, hey, document this, but you don't know what the steps it takes to do that. And then to put in all that work, like for me, I would put in a whole list of documents. I had like about 50 documents that I wrote, detailed, short form, and videos for all of them. And then I'd still get people to ask me, AJ, how do I do this? Did you look up the FAQ? Well, no, I'm just asking you. I can get it from you faster. I'm like, that was a waste of my time, because people don't value what it takes. People want to know all right, here's where the rant comes in, the small rant. What I really have noticed with media ministry and with churches, I've seen 3 types of churches. Churches that want to do the bare minimum just to say that they have something. The second one is they have it, but they only want to know the bare minimum of, hey, whatever I set up, they're still doing it the exact same way. They're not trying to evolve. They're not trying to enhance. They're just like, just tell me to press buttons 1, 2, 3, and that's all they do. They never look any deeper than what you're told. And then group 3 are the ones that they take it and they run with it and they evolve it and they grow it. And now I'm not going to call out anybody specifically, but any video, any church that I've done, go back and look at when I finished doing the install and then look at them now. And then you can see some have evolved, some are still doing the exact same thing. And it's a mindset of perfecting your craft. And I really think that some churches are so earthly minded. I mean, they're so godly minded. They're no earthly good. They put so much God and church and Bible into the stuff that they're stupid. And I say that honestly, that because it's like they think we're still in Jesus's times when stuff is changing. That's why the conference is important. I have so many people saying that, oh, we're against AI. Why? Because I don't think this is of God. I said, if you studied history, people said the same thing about social media. They said the same thing about internet. They said the same thing about TV. They said the same thing about phone. They said the same thing about being on the corner and then announcing stuff. They said the same thing when they had they desegregated churches. They said the same thing. It's like you can go through history and it's not that God is against it. You are against it and you're trying to put God's name on it. That's what that is. And it's all about every good and perfect gift comes from God. So the fact that it's here, it can be used for good. It can be used for bad. It's the person that determines how it's going to be used. And right now, most churches are not going knocking on doors. They're not walking. They're not sending missionaries all over the world. And I mean, the world's been crazy right now. You don't even want to be sending people anywhere, but no one's doing that. And you can use technology to do that. But they're like, no, we need to go to the doors and knock and meet people. Okay, that's fine. You don't need to use social media. You don't need to use none of this technology. That's fine. Go knock on doors. Are you knocking on doors? Well, now I'm too old for that. So I'm like, you just want to complain for the sake of complaining. So I don't know. And that was completely off based on what John was talking about. So my bad. But that's where I feel with that. John, all I can tell you is do your best. If you want to put all that effort into it, divorce yourself from the response of what people are going to do and how they receive it. That is what I had to learn. When I was doing all these videos and stuff like that, it broke my heart that somebody up here showing half their tail online gets more response than some of the videos that me, Monty, any of the people in this church atmosphere were trying to do just to educate. And it gets frustrating. It does. But I had to divorce the result from the effort that I put in. Just because a lot of people didn't receive what I had does not mean that I was a failure. I put my best into it, and that's what matters. You know, so if you want to put all the effort into it, I say go for it. But remove yourself from the responsibility and the fallout of how people receive it. You know, do your best, and then don't worry about the rest. All right. I hope that helps you. See where I left off at. All right, I had no response to that one. Rob. The good thing about the new ATEM, the old ones will be on eBay cheap. Yeah, hopefully they're not broken because I've seen a bunch of people buying from eBay and they offload a bunch of junk to them. But yeah, it will be discounted price hopefully. Raymond, hello. And thank you very much. Katie Burkett Photo and Film just converted to Worship Tool Suite. How do I presenter? I don't understand your question. But let me know and we can take a deep dive into that. I want to ask you, what is the best way to take audio from a Mackie analog mixer to vMix? Is it through a USB AB cable or through a audio interface like the Focusrite? Well, it all depends. Um, Honestly, the easiest way is if you have, again, I don't know. Well, you're running vMix, so that has to be a PC. Honestly, the easier thing is on that Mackie board is to run a cable from the mixer directly into the line in on your computer. If it's a regular desktop, you should have a line in on the back of the PC. You could do it that way. And then if you don't have that, you can get one of these M audio interfaces. These are like $25. So it works just like the Focusrite. It gives you the same thing. Bring your instrument, your mixer in from a mix, a aux mix or something into this. And then it's a USB that goes into your computer and it just shows up in vMix. Either one of those would be fine. And this is what I used to give a bunch of churches. I got like 2 of them sitting up under here because this is what I had with their analog, and then we upgraded them to a digital board and we got rid of that. But yes, that will work. This is the M audio I got. I mean, I got 2 of them here. To be quite honest, they're sitting here. If you want one, I can mail it to you. You just pay for the shipping and I'll send it to you. You can have it. Just direct message me with your information and I'll just send you one. Because like I said, they're just sitting under my desk. So you just need a USB cable. You pay for the shipping. I'll send it to you. Where do we leave off at? And I don't know why my page was acting up. All right, where do we leave off at? All right, Dean, I will see it here in a second. Okay, got you. JB93. God bless you, AJ. Quick question: how come when I connect the camera to A10 Mini Pro HDMI 1, there's no signal, but the others? It's most likely to feed when you connect to HDMI number 1. HDMI number 1 has a different type of input signal, and again, y'all correct me because I know I'm probably misquoting this. It's either RGB or it's another type of input signal that is expecting. I had the same thing when I went to this camera, the AV cans. When I connected this to HDMI number 1, it did not like it. When I connected it to the other ones, it did work. So that's what that is. It's just how the HDMI input number 1 is looking for a certain signal. I know somebody in the comments going to say exactly what it is. I just don't remember off the top of my head what signal it's expecting. All right, we got a bunch more came in here, so it moved me to my different page here. Back to 1. Hey AJ, my setup is to capture the sanctuary. We do not have access to the mixer since it is not close to the camera position. I just need to capture sound coming out of the speakers. That's going to be kind of problematic, to be quite honest with you. You're going to get ambient sound, and I know it's far away from that. The easier thing would be is to just run another cable, like split the cable that's coming from that speaker and convert it down so it can plug into your camera. That would give you a cleaner signal. But if you wanted to just do an environment mic, let me see, hold on. So something like this, I think the DD one that you're talking about is kind of the same. This is the Rode Micro one that they had, and it's around like a $50 one. that does well. This used to be the one that I put on my camera when I used to when I was doing stuff back in the day when I was recording just with my camera and doing video. This is like I said, about $50 or less. Or the shotgun mic that I started with is a good one, and it was like $25. And that got everything well. Now, the one thing I will say about the camera is depending on its placement. If you have a mic that's pointing directly at a speaker, I don't think I wouldn't think that's the best way to capture that. And I understand that your stuff you're far away from the mixer. The easier thing personally would be is to split the signal that's going to a speaker and running a cable into that. If you don't want to do that, I wouldn't point this at the speaker. I would have this maybe have a not a shotgun. I would have maybe a mic, something like this that can get the cardioid, the heart shape or whatever that can get around it so that you're getting an environmental of everybody that's coming in. It's still not going to be the greatest, but that would be it. Now, to be quite honest, if you really wanted to do something better, you can maybe get the DJI Mic Mini or something like that. And then like this is the Hollyland. What I would do in that scenario is I would just hook one of these up, and because it's wireless, hook this up into the input on the board of the mixer and then plug the receiver into your camera. And now you don't have to worry about wires. And then you can get that directly from the mixer. And that would give you a much cleaner sound. And the DJI Mic Mini, well, I wouldn't go with that one because there's no cable in for that. You can go with the Hollyland Lark or the bigger DJI one, or even the Rodecaster ones that have a connection that you can plug in. And that would give you a much cleaner audio because now you are actually picking it up directly from the board, and then you don't have to worry about wires. That's what would be my recommendation for that. All right, Kal-El was saying he did do the update, but I can't get the Windows camera to connect to the camera. That's strange. Because, I mean, if you have the ATEM is also connected to your computer over USB, it should just show up as an option. So, like, for me, if I open up my camera right now and it's going into Infinity because that's the camera app, and I can't change my camera right now because that's what's feeding my the live stream that y'all are seeing right now. So that's what's going on here, and I'll do it for half a second because it's gonna throw off everything from my stream. So if I change my web, but well, hold on, because you're talking about it can't connect. Because if you go through the change camera button here at the top, so you're saying when you go here to the change camera option, it doesn't show you as Blackmagic as an option. So I'm going through all these NDI ones that came plugged in, and then it cycles back to the Blackmagic. So when you go to this camera one, it's not listed as an option at all. Let me know about that. Have I seen the Cine Pixie project of Raspberry Pi Cinema Camera 4K? No, I have not seen that. I do have another Raspberry Pi. I might play around. See, that's the thing. It's so much stuff out there. It's so hard to keep up with all the stuff that is new stuff, which is kind of cool. And that's the beauty of the community as well, too. Has a 10 gigabit card for ISO recording directly to a NAS. That was released. Awesome. So again, that might be another bonus. Because I mean, I do use my hyperdeck to record, but I missed the ISO recordings so that I could do that. And with the ISO recordings, I want to play around with Blackmagic Cloud because this is the thought, and I know everybody's not ready for this. Personally, what I foresee happening if you're trying to really think of your ministry, your media ministry as a broadcast ministry, and this is what I'm going to talk about at the conference. I have a couple of topics that I'm teaching. One of them is called your television network, where it talks about producing stuff. But with the tools that Blackmagic has come out with, the workflow that I envision is that you're recording everything from your service. And with DaVinci Resolve and with Blackmagic Cloud, you can start editing the recordings that are currently still being recorded live. So just think you're doing your service. You can start editing the sermon video separately. And by the time the church service is over, you already have produced and rendered out the video for shorts, the sermon, different stuff like that. So the whole workflow, but by the time everybody's finished meeting and greeting and fellowshipping at the end of service, all of the videos have already been produced. And you've had it archived out through a NAS, because you got the ISO recordings of every single camera, so you can always go back and change whatever, different formats, all this other stuff. So, I mean, that's what I personally like, but I'm still trying to get people just to edit their stuff. I have to, not that it's a right or wrong, it's just so many people, and I had to be careful how I say this because I don't want to sound like I'm entitled or I'm a jerk or a butt when I say this. So many people are not trying to perfect their craft. So the idea is like, oh, we live streamed and the video went up to YouTube and Facebook. Please don't do it to Facebook. I'm still telling people not to live stream to Facebook anymore. But you just do that and you just leave it the way it is. You're not cutting out the imperfections. You're not cutting out the junk. You're not improving the sound. You're not improving the image quality. You're not adding any text. It's like you don't care. It comes off as you don't care about the quality of the product that you're putting out. Because meaning that, hey, you don't have any context, no graphics, no nothing for me to understand what in the world you're talking about. And I watched this a year later. I have no idea what you're talking about. And again, some people are like, what's the big deal? I'm like, if you're saying that, then you prove my point. But anyway, LB, can you clarify using one computer versus multiple with different tasks? I believe you said it's good to use one. Yeah, I think I responded to somebody that asked a similar question. So give me 1 second. I need to hook up my other mic so I can move around. Hold on. Test. Okay. Sorry for all the noise. I need to get this mic set up so I can actually move. All right, so your question, now I'm not going to be able to hear while I'm doing this. So back to your question. Your question was, what about having a bunch of, come on now, thank you. All right, so your question was, how do you handle multiple setups? So let me show you my setup here. So with my setup right here, this is the presentation stuff that I do. All the stuff, my ProPresenter, all this other stuff is here. But behind me, this is my live streaming system. So what I have is, in that video where I broke down everything, it's going to explain this better. I have all this stuff going into my ATEM, and my ATEM is handling this. So if I had this one computer handling everything, my presentations, everything, if this system crashed, I'd lose everything. So I have each one of these computers doing a different function. So if I cut back over to this other camera here, so in this setup, again, this other system is handling live streaming to Twitch and my website. So like right now, I can do this right now. So if I kill this system right now, guess what? Y'all are still seeing me because the live stream is being handled by something completely different. And that's the whole thing. If you put everything on one system, you're kind of stuck. And that's the reason why I have multiple things separated. Now, again, I understand that's not a viable option for everybody. But for me, that's the reason why I have it. And this is super hot. Let me bring this down. I hope that sounds better. But that's the reason why I have mine separated, that you want to separate the task unless, now, all of these systems I have here are beasts of systems, and they could run everything separately without any issue at all. But I do it that way so that if I ever had an issue, I don't have to, I'm not going to have everything fall apart. And I haven't calibrated this mic after I hooked everything up. So sorry if that sounded all crazy. But I hope that makes sense. That's the reason why I separated. It's redundancy. I've had way too many times somebody will put everything on one system, and it, inevitably when something happens, a bug, a software, or something like that, it kills the whole thing. That's the reason why I have my stuff separated. The other thing I would say is go into, let's cut back over here. One other thing that you might want to check is if you go to hit start and then type privacy settings, and then you have, if I bring this over here, you have settings. I don't care about that. You have camera. You can come down here to camera and then make sure that the camera app is also selected so that you can actually use the camera and the ATEM can actually show up there. That's the other thing I would say. Make sure you have that as well too if it's not showing. Hey David, thanks for joining. Marvin, thank you. I have this issue now within my church. Hey, see that I tried to tell somebody that, and again, I think the good thing about it is, y'all, if y'all have watched my videos long enough, I don't try and carry myself. I don't believe I'm some highfalutin type of thing, and don't you know who I am? No stuff like that. But I really have an issue. I have to deal with constant issues where people will tell me something and they're not in the, like I told somebody the other day that more churches are having problem A. They were like, how come we're struggling with this problem? And I was like, well, no, it's not just you. Everybody's having it. Well, I went to this one church. I was like, I'm not trying to flex on you, but you're nitpicking 2 or 3 churches that don't have that issue. I deal with thousands. And if I say that 95% of churches have this problem, and you pick one that doesn't have a problem, that's not, like I was saying, somebody was saying, how come our live stream sounds bad? And I said, well, because 95% of churches have that same problem. No, they don't. Yes, they do. Well, this church doesn't have an issue. Well, that church has been broadcasting on TV for the last 15 years. They have professional people hired to handle that. Most churches who are just now starting to live stream, they're still focused on getting their audio in the sanctuary straight with volunteers, let alone having to duplicate that with somebody else that knows how to mix for people on the live stream. 95% of the churches I deal with do not have somebody that does that. So if you listen to their live stream, for the most of the time, unless they've hired somebody professionally to come in, somebody that knows that stuff inside or out, or that they've worked on it, like when I'm at a church and I'm working on the live stream audio, I get it straight because I'm listening for that. Most people don't have somebody dedicated for each one. And when you're not in that field, it's very easy for you to say that this is a problem when you have no reservoir of knowledge that you're pulling from to negate or enhance your argument. So I don't, let me shut up. Let me just be quiet because I'm starting to get heated about some stuff. they said the same thing about the printing press. I mean, that's the whole thing. It's like people just, I tell my daughter this, and this is something I heard a long time ago. And I say this to all of y'all. Everything that you know is not all there is to know. So many people think just because you're wise does not mean that you have all knowledge in every single area. Yeah, you're great with construction, but do you know how to split atoms? No. So that means there's something else that you don't know. Don't ever come in with an attitude that I know everything, because if you do, now you're blocking yourself from learning anything new. I always tell people if you're the smartest person in the room, you should either be presenting or you're in the wrong room. Because if you're the smartest person in the room and you're not presenting, you ain't learning nothing. So I don't know. Absolutely. Absolutely. Philip Paul, hello, hello. And then he said, it reminds me of why I started YouTube. It wasn't for likes, it was for sharing knowledge, especially when I couldn't get to clients. I could make a video and exactly. It's like people just, they're so stuck on, and this is going back to the media ministry in general, why churches still have a problem with it. They're thinking media ministry is just to broadcast the service and Bible study, nothing else. And that's the reason why no one is coming to your church and you're not expanding, because you were stuck only you have a lemonade stand on the corner and you're only offering lemonade to the people in your neighborhood, not realizing that now with this technology, you could freeze, you can bottle up, you could package up your lemonade, show videos of it, and ship it to anybody else out in the entire world. You can now, instead of just selling lemonade, you can do tutorials on how to start a lemonade business. You can do tutorials on how you make different brands of lemonade. You can do a behind the scenes of what it's like to run your lemonade stand. There's so much of a content that you could make that churches are missing out on. So again, this is I'm giving you some of the tips on my presentation that I'm doing at the conference. So media ministries, go ahead and get a pencil and paper. I'm just going to, or you can come back and rewind this. What could churches do outside of live streaming their service and Bible study? You could have a 5-minute prayer every single day. You can have somebody, a deacon, a other minister, a laity, anybody in the church being like, hey, we're going to do let's read through the entire Bible in an entire year. And you do a video of just these verses and you go and you do a breakdown of it. You could do that. You could have an hour before choir rehearsal, just have the musicians have gospel music time where there's no words. It's just them doing music, and they just show music that people can chime in on Tuesdays at this time just to listen to music. You can have a fitness regime based on Christian music that's done by your band or your musicians or licensed tracks where you do fitness stuff. You can do a behind the scenes of somebody else on YouTube, animate Bible stories, where they just do animated stories of the Bible. And they just talk about this. You can have a cooking show where you bring in cooks in the church and talk about like, hey, let's make the meals that you hear about in the Bible and we teach on it. Like, what meal is good enough for you to give up your birthright? And you have somebody make that stuff and they break it down. They give a history of it. Or you have a breakdown of food in the Bible. Like, why is there such a big deal that God said that you need to make unleavened bread? You read it, but there's no breakdown of it. Hey, you also want to have a round table where you have young adults. You got different generations just talk about different stuff in your church. You could do that. You can have a breakdown session of Christian movie reviews of stuff in the church. If you want to have a Christian review of this is appropriate for this, and this, you could do something like that. You can break down television shows. There's so much stuff that churches could do, but they are doing the bare minimum of just live streaming your church service and Bible study. That was just, 90 seconds, 2 minutes of me just blabbing of different ideas. And there's way more other than that. But, and that's the battle. Like, the church shouldn't do that. Shut up. Shut up. Who put the limitations on what churches could and couldn't do? You did. Anyway. I would say I'm currently in the maintaining and running the system phase now and trying to document everything to make easier for successors, which is also a great plan. my very first step of being thought of as being, when you step into media ministry, the very first thing you should be doing is finding your successor. Have a few small upgrade projects, and that's cool. Our systems are working very well, and I want to first get things recorded, documented. Hey, that's it. Hey, that's what the video that I'm editing that y'all will see soon is doing that as well too. MA16V3, out of curiosity, can Maddie be split or relayed? Super interested in the ISO G2, but to integrate it, we'd replace the X32 USB DAW card with a MIDI card. Would lose virtual sound check. Yeah, it's kind of a handoff with it. Sean, hey, totally agree. Totally agree. You know what I'm saying? I like the documentation. I'm kind of OCD about it. I will continue. I just hope and pray someone down the line will find it useful. Hey, that's how I thought when I was doing these YouTube videos. When it was just me on my Sir Triggerlot account, my personal account, my daughter's account, the church's account, I was just watching myself. And, you know, we're looking at it now. What are we at? We're at 68,000. Hold on, let me look at it. We're at 68,805. So I understand. I was grinding, just listening just to myself, and I didn't think it was worth it. But thankfully, y'all proved that it was worth it. So I'm glad I stuck to it. And it could be the same thing with y'all. Thank you so much for the advice. I'm definitely do that. Where can I direct message you? The direct message me, the easiest way is to email me at questions@ajayhomes.com. That is the easiest, the most direct way to get in touch with me. Actually, you've helped me out a lot through these videos throughout the year. I'm glad to be of help. G. Albert, looking for an app. Our manual recommendations to create an engaging Q&A experience, game show format during Zoom. This captures. You're looking for an app to do that? I'm not sure on that. I mean, I'm cobbling all the stuff together with the presentation and stuff that we're doing where I'm teaching how to set up Bible trivia. That's what I've done. But I don't know of an app that does that. Pave Management, I believe. Recently got the TeraDeck 6 HDMI 750. Wanted to know if I could use an L bracket battery with a 2-pin LEMO to Sony. I am not sure on that at all. I'll be spitting in the wind if I gave you any answer on that. But let me see. So that is this here, I believe. I mean, I would think if you got the adapters that were converted over and it's not too much amperage, too much voltage, and it's within the specs of it, in theory it should work. But again, I can't sign off saying 100% because I have not used either one of those. I've never done that setup. So last thing I want to do is give you a suggestion when I have no way to prove if that's true or not. Thank you, MA16V3. That's what it was. I couldn't remember the YUV, but yeah, that is part of the issue for the first one. So thank you for that. Tamara, I wrote documentation on how to control and switch between cameras in the sanctuary on New Year's last year. Yeah, and it's good to have that. I would say the same way. Don't stop what you're doing because the masses don't appreciate it. The masses will never appreciate anything. It's the by the time the masses appreciate it, the person who did the work is probably long gone. It's just the way it is. I mean, if we could appreciate the stuff like that, we'd be a better society than we are. But unfortunately, it's like a lot of people are not, the roses are not given until after the people are gone. That's what they say. You never know what you have until it's gone, because then that's when it finally kicks in. So that's why I encourage y'all, keep doing what y'all are doing, even if the masses don't appreciate it, because there's somebody who will. So those mixers can be used to separate audio for the live and house audio, like making changes to either or without affecting one or the other. Am I missing your first part of what you said? But technically, yes, you could. All right, I'm losing track of where we're at. So my apologies if I missed what you had. Yes, for the mic, yes, you could. And yes, for the mic 2, that would give you the connection. So I have the mini, I have the mic 2 here. So that one would give me the connection so you could plug it in as well. And I think I might have said, I told leadership, but of course, when I'm not there, nothing is turned on. I mean, that's why I try and tell the people who don't deal with ministries that the issues that I talk about, other people are doing the same thing. It's just the people who are not in this sphere of what we're doing, it sounds like we're speaking Greek to them. Or I know about this. No, you don't. No, you don't. If you haven't been in media, shut up. You do not know what it takes to do what we're doing. It's very easy to sit on the outside and say, oh, this could. When people say that, come and volunteer. Since you know so much, please come up here and educate me on all that you know. And when they come upstairs and they have all that hot wind and they see all the buttons and they see the stress, what happens in the middle of service, then they're like, I can't do this. Then sit down and shut up. Go back downstairs. You man your station. I'm manning mine. And you spending more time trying to tell me how to do what I'm doing that you're not even doing what you're supposed to be doing. People are people. I'll just put it that way. Back to Kal-El. It's listed, but I can't get it to change over. I try to click on the Blackmagic camera, but it won't. I would also, it stays gray, then jumps back to my laptop. I would make sure under the properties on your computer, go to the device manager, because I had to do this. Remember last week when I was telling y'all that my computer kept glitching out the video? That was because of this same thing. So if you press the start button and the letter X at the same time, you'll get a second menu, click on device manager. And when device manager opens up, you'll get this. So in here, and I know the text is small because my screen is 4K. So that's why the text is so small. But at the bottom, if you go to USB devices, this is what I had to do. USB serial bus controllers. Come in here on each hub, go into properties, and make sure power management is turned off. That new motherboard that I had to put on my streaming system did not do that, and it kept shutting down my USB, and that's why the stuff kept flickering. I would check that and see if that resolves it, and it's just a bunch of things you got to walk through for that, but that's the next thing that popped in my mind when I saw your next comment. Then the other comment was like, I agree with you about not live streaming to Facebook. I can't get our church to leave their friends. So social media on one computer, live streaming on a different one, lower thirds on a different computer, logged into the same account. Well, I think you're conflating what I did with a church down in North Carolina. They had 3 computers running 3 separate licenses of ProPresenter. And they didn't need that because one computer could be programmed to do full screen and lower thirds and output on the same presentation software. So in what you're saying, social media, for me, social media is somebody monitoring the live stream. Another system that's dedicated for just running the live stream. Now, if depending on the computer, running the live stream, running OBS, vMix, or whatever on one computer should not interfere if you wanted to monitor the live stream on that same system. If you are having that issue where you can't live stream and monitor the live stream on that same computer, your computer is not fast enough. But technically, monitoring the live stream, that's what I'm assuming what you're meaning by social media, and live streaming could be done on one same system. But then I would not have the system that's doing my lower thirds and presentation on the same system that's running the live stream. I hope you understand what I'm saying from that. Y'all funny. I agree. Ideally, I want to hire an audio team. Do that to be consistent if you have a budget. Yeah, and that's what most people are doing. And then Bruce was saying mixing is a lot tougher than camera switching or posting. Exactly, but mm, mm, hey, I try. Michael, are you accepting application for anyone who want to offer remote technical support to the presenters? Yeah, I mean, now right now we don't have the funds to pay anybody. That honestly, I would love to get to the point where enough stuff is coming in that I can pay the presenters, maybe fly people in, and do stuff they can't do. We're not at that point yet. We're setting the groundwork. But yes, if people want to volunteer just to help with the technical, we are more than willing to have y'all there. I need to make a form to do that. But yes, you are more than willing for that. And I might put something up like that and do it as a discount for you to cover y'all coming in and stuff like that. But yes, I would love help on that, and I much appreciate it. So still be on standby. I'll probably post a link when I add that so that y'all could do that. And again, thank you for those things. In presenter, how would I make a welcome slide using 3 images? Welcome, we're glad you're here. At church, or church service begins at 10, that sort of thing. I mean, you would just make a slideshow. You would make a scene that has multiple images, and then it just navigates to the next one when you're done. So I'm going to try and make something very, very fast to show you that after I log in. Cheer my stuff. Cheer my stuff. All right. So in here, I would make a slide, and you could put an image here or whatever. I didn't want text. I don't know. I mean, you could do it like this, or you could just bring in images to do the same thing. So you could do welcome, add a new slide. What up? And then you do another slide. Ushers lock the doors. You know, so you can have something like that. And then, you know, you have your service and you put your slide here. And then go to next slide after. You would just put your time delay in here, say 5 seconds. And then when I launch it, we go here. So it's after 5 seconds. It should move to the next one, or whatever time that I put on there. Or no, wait a minute. Hold on. I think I did the wrong one. Yeah, go to slide when complete. Go back to the first slide. Yeah, that's what I had. When you launch it in here, yeah, see now it migrates. See, I'm not touching nothing. Not touching nothing. And then it'll just go on. So you just make the slides and then put that as your setting, and then it will just move to the next one. So that's what you could do inside a presenter. So I hope that helps. Yeah. Sean, how do you make an income online by giving away knowledge the way that you do? Nothing wrong. It's just wondering. Honestly, and I kind of did this when I was brought back to my daughter's second career day. For me, do you want the biblical answer or do you want the earthly answer? Well, I'll give you both. The biblical answer is, originally when I was told to leave music and do media, I was just told to share this knowledge and not to be concerned about advertising, nothing. And God said, I will, if you do what I tell you to do, I will bring people to you. And that has been the case. And then as it expanded, now for an earthly answer, I just get on here and share my knowledge and give it away for free. And that reminds me, I need to address something that I posted recently. I give that stuff away free. People learn from me. Other people, the videos show and build confidence in the people that are watching me, that they're like, man, this guy knows what he's doing. It seems like his instructions are fine, but we'd rather have somebody do it who knows how to do it. So they reach out to me, they hire me to do it. I record the video of me doing it. And hold on one second. Hey, Brohim, I am live streaming right now. Can I give you a call back? No, dude, I've already put you on speaker. All right, I'll hit you back later. Sorry, that was my best friend, Mike. But, and then what they do is they hire me. So there comes income right there. Now, real honest talk. The prices that I charge people are about 1/8 of what anybody else is doing. And yes, I increase my price, but again, I'm not doing it to make myself rich. I really wish I was that type of person that had that mindset, but I don't. So I do that. I charge them for it. I charge them a fair price. They get what they're doing, and it helps me help another ministry share the message. That's what it does. I document what I'm doing, make a video of it, and now it's a rinse and repeat. I also build computers for people that I've done. I show people how to build the computer, tell them all the parts, where to get it from, all this other stuff, show fair prices. Some people watch my videos, like Anthony and some other people, they'll build out the system. And they're like, man, it works great. I followed your instructions. Other people is like, I'd rather not do that. Can you just build one for me? And then I offer that. And when I build a computer, I literally only charge $150 on top of the price for me to build it. And then that's what I make off of it. So yes, could I be making way more? Yeah, I could. But again, that's not my focus. I wish it was. I honestly wish I could be that guy. I'm not, but that's just how it works. And then other people will reach out to me, like the Notary Republic of North Carolina reached out to me, and I did stuff for them. Schools have reached out to me to do their graduations. I've had the Consortium of Wildlife in California hired me to do their live stream and run that stuff. I've had churches hired me to do other stuff. So I mean, it's just that I did what I was told to do, and God has made a way every single time. And it hasn't been easy. Sometimes like I ain't gonna tell you just written in my journal, but there's a lot of times me and God has had some wrestling matches, because I'm like, God, I'm doing everything that you've told me to do. Why am I struggling to pay this bill? How come I can't do this? How come I can't, get out of here and get my own house so I can do this? All I want to do is try and serve and do more. And it hasn't expanded to that. So yes, that gets frustrating sometimes, that, all these other people doing crypto scams and all this other stuff, scamming people, and they're making tons and tons and tons of money just doing dumb stuff. And yeah, sometimes being a Christian, it does hurt that I'm just like, man, all I'm trying to do is help. And I'm sitting here scraping by. But I don't know. Maybe I went a little bit too far. But yes, that's what I try and do. And I just believe that God is not a man that he should lie, even though sometimes it gets difficult, that he said he'll take care of. Like, I'll give y'all some inside information. I got out of the military in 97. And y'all don't see the bodily pain that I go through when I do stuff, because I cut that out because I don't need to broadcast that. I don't want sympathy. But I got out of the military from disability, and that was in 97. I literally 2 days ago finally got my update on disability from the VA. Almost 25 years later, it took for me to do some stuff like that. So, I get frustrated, but, things have worked out. It's not exactly the way I wanted to, but I mean, I'm not sitting here on the street live streaming on the corner and stuff like that. So I'm thankful for that. It's not the way I wish it would be, but I'm glad it's not as bad as it could be, And like Dean says, that's the whole goal. Try and leave the place in a better position than where you found it. Um, yes, I mean either way, yes, that is true. Um, TA Pos wants to know any recommendations on a 30x Zoom PTZ. SMT AV, AV cans, Famaco, all of them, you'll get a 30x PTZ in the range of, I mean, I've used all of these brands with that one. I mean, it's literally all of them are good. You just need to find one that's in the price budget of what you're looking for. So this AV can, I mean, this Famaco one, I've used this one before. They actually gave me one of these, and then I gifted this to somebody else. The Persil one works well. I mean, as you can see, you've seen the prices. I mean, the dates that they were purchased. So I've used all of these. So you're looking at all of these in that same range. Now, this one is a Famaco and AI tracking that's 30x, and that's around like 550. So I mean, almost all of these, as you can see, the SMT AV I purchased in 2022. This other one, AV cans, was 2023. And this one, I don't know why it's not showing, but we've had all of them. It's whichever one is in your price range. Most of them is looking like it's as high as $700, as low as $550. And like again, we've used pretty much all of them. And you know, you're not going to notice a difference in quality. It's just which one fits in your budget. Not jokes, just facts. But on the joke stuff, hey, you gotta laugh at it, man. AJT, what's my back hurting? Do you have any advice on where to shop for new lights? I feel like my options haven't been obvious. I'm looking for more LED stage lights and possibly house lights. Um, I would look at B&H Photo for that type of stuff. Adorama. But then when you start looking at some of those other ones, I would probably look at Sweetwater. I would stay within those. If they don't have what you need, now you got to go directly to the vendor for those type. But again, I don't know exactly what type of lights you're losing, but those are the ones I would do. But Sean, I'm going to start my media page because I go around and do what you do. That's why I ask, but I respect you. Hey, you're welcome. Hey, more power to you. We need more people sharing and helping. Hey, I just try and be real. I'm not one of these people. Like this is the same way I teach my the young adults when I play for them. Like I tell them, I'm just like when I pick music and stuff like that. Look, I'm not gonna be here and just say that I'm floating around and there's everything is great. No, everything is not great. I'm not trying to give glory to the bad issues, but you discourage more people when all you do is put on the front that everything is great. Because if everybody around you is acting like everything is great and it's not great in your life, now you start thinking there's something the matter with you. That you're missing something that everybody else got, but you're not getting it. So, like, I tell people, like, yeah, like I just wrote in my journal the other day. It's like, man, I love the stuff that I do, but I want to be able to come home and share it with somebody that's important in my life, somebody who's a partner with me to do some other stuff. And I'm like, I'm not gonna fake and lie that. I mean, hey, I have desires. I want stuff in my life. I want to be able to come home to my two husky Alaskan Huskies, Goku and Chi Chi, coming home to see this and have when I go travel that is me and my wife and the kids go to these ministries and help out with other stuff and have a team of people and have a humongous corporation where I have multiple 10 teams of what I do. So it's not just me climbing all over the place, that I want to be able to impact and have one out of every 4 churches has something that my company is there that's either trained them or something that they're there to help with ministries, to have this conference 4 times a year in each continent around the world to help educate. Yeah, I have dreams and desires about that, and it hasn't happened yet. And do I just get discouraged by that sometimes? Yeah. And it's like, AJ, don't get weary and well doing. Well, guess what? I am weary. And if you read the Bible, you know there are plenty of times David has gotten weary. It's been prophets that have served God that said they wanted to delete themselves and to sit back and sit and think that just because you're in church, everything is hunky dory and you don't talk about the elephant in the room. That's why people are getting discouraged, because they come to church thinking, man, all of y'all got it together, and they're just lying to you. Everybody doesn't have it all together. Because if everybody had it all together, then they wouldn't need God. But God is there. But then sometimes you have to work this thing out. And that's where I'm at. Like, hey, I've been faithful for all these years. I'm doing all this other stuff. And this is my sacrifice of praise. You know how many times I get in here, I enjoy helping y'all, but it's times I don't want to do this. I put on my YouTube face because life is hard. You have to deal with knuckleheaded people that you're just trying to help in church, and you're defending your character when people think something negative about you when they don't know. I mean, it's life, you know? So I try to be real with y'all. Like, yes, I'm here to help y'all, because my whole goal is I want to do unto others as I will have them do unto me. So if I help you, I'm hoping that I am planting seeds that sooner or later somebody will return that back to me. And I don't do it only for that sole purpose. We got enough jerks and dirtbags out in the entire world that why not? I don't care about everybody else. I'm not going to be the person that does the same thing that everybody else is doing. I tell my daughter the same way. You do what's right because it's right, not because you're going to get something back. So I help the churches that don't want my help because I know that they're going to need it. I do it anyway, even when they do stuff to me, because I'm not doing it for them. I'm doing it because it's right. And in doing stuff that's right, it is still difficult because we're dealing with fallen people and broken people. And you do what you're doing because it's right, not because people treat you right. At least, that's how I think I've been. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll find that out at the end of my life. I'd rather get to the end of my life and be like, AJ, you're not going to be accepted in here. Why? Because you didn't do what you're supposed to do. Well, these people didn't. I'm like, that's not going to be a good excuse. You do what you're tasked to do because you were tasked to do it, not because of what everybody else did. Hey, you are welcome. Dean, no, directly, no, I do not. Exactly. We do a bunch of references like that. If people know me, I do so much 90s stuff, cartoon stuff, Dragon Ball Z stuff, all this other stuff. TT, I use that camera per AJ. The church has low light and the visual quality is great. Awesome. Thanks for that. Yes, absolutely. Sean, people don't understand what we go through in media. All some church people say is easy and the live stream is not good. Yeah, they don't know the details, what it takes to go into it. Ronald, any recommendations on a camcorder within $1,000 range or less having at least a 20x zoom for a simple mobile setup? I still recommend the Canon Vixia line. I don't know which one they're on right now. I mean, if you go with this G10, that's good. That's sub 1,000 because the latest is the G70. If you get a G60 or anything lower than that, that should work. I mean, but that's like $100 more. But that's one the Panasonic. Camcorder. I think I gave that one, donate that one to Josh. This one is a 20x. That one gives you a good price. This 4K one is at 800. That one will work well. That's the new version of the one that I had. That's a good one that was there. This is the original one that I had, but that's 1080p. And that's very good. I used this one for a while. I still use my Sony AX53. That's upstairs. That's 1080p. 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 And again, all of these are sub 1,000. So this is the 43. I have the 53, and that's a good price as well too. Don't use any of these no name ones. These are trash. All of them are trash. Yeah, this is actually the one that I had, the one I have that's upstairs. So any of those would be good for you. There's a verse in the Bible that say we do it all unto the Lord. This is what keeps me going when I serve. Hey, I completely agree. Well, honestly, that's the only thing that keeps me going. And then also, I want my daughter to be able to look back at the history of what I've done, and she can see my daddy helped out this. I am proud of the fact that I can show my daughter everything that I do, and my kids. And well, my kid, I only have one child, but any of the people in my family or something like that, that when I'm gone, that they can see this is the impact of what was done. So I'm excited about that, thankful for about that. So I think that's enough this time around, folks. We've been going for a minute. And I want to give a big shout out to all my Patreon supporters and YouTube members. Thank you so much, Patreon supporters and YouTube members. If you like what we do, folks, and you know, I don't take sponsorships or nothing like this. It's just the great people that are listed on here and other ones. I need to update this with some new people, but they are the ones that help this go. Their contributions, some of them have been with me for years, and I'm thankful for that. So if you like what we do, folks, you can go to patreon.com/AJaytheCEO. You can get started as a Patreon supporter for $1 a month, or you can click the join button down below. No matter which way you pick, folks, you are helping us train media ministries all over the world. And again, thank you to my supporters on there. And I think that's about it, folks. So like I said, if you have any more questions, you can email me at questions@ajayhomes.com. Give me 48 to 72 hours to respond. I hope y'all have a great Easter weekend service and all that other fun stuff. I need to find somewhere for me to go. Got to figure out where I'm going to go for this Sunday. But I think that's about it. Got a couple of things I got to do tomorrow. I got to fix some audio in Chester this afternoon. Reprogram some stuff. That was one of those videos that I never showed y'all that I recorded, but I just never did it. I might do a follow-up on that. And I think that's about it. And like I said, I hope all my little rants kind of bolster what I'm getting ready to say. You are important. The things that you do are important. Even if everybody around you is telling you that you're not important, you are. You were called to do what you're doing. If you weren't doing what you were doing, something would be missing. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't worry about what everybody else on the outside is doing. Get associated with the group that is in the battle fighting the same battle that you're fighting. You look to your left and your right, there are men and women in your city, state, country, world that are doing the same thing that you're doing. Draw strength from them. Associate with the people that are going to build you up. I can't do what I'm doing without you. If it wasn't for y'all being here, I don't know if I would continue. So what you're doing is important. It helps me. And I hope what I do helps you. You have to pull strength from where you get it from. So please continue what you're doing. You're called for what you're doing. There's a reason why you're the only one that does what you do, because you're called to do it. Thank you. I appreciate for everything you're doing. And I hope y'all have a great day, evening, afternoon, wherever you are. And we'll be seeing y'all on the next video, folks. Later.